when you work through a household, you do sign a lot of contracts, and you're also in an amazing position. You get close to these, some of the most famous people probably in the world, and there's got to be a trust element. They've got to know that they can trust you. And I think above everything, again, I say to butlers when I'm training them, that's a big part of the role. It's, as well as being able to do the job, you've got to be able to be trusted. They've got to know you're not going to go run into a paper or a journalist or something and give the secrets. So they need to know they can trust you. And I think that will be a big part of why they've taken an extra household member, because they know that they can trust them.
I guess one of the main roles of a butler is not to be surprised by any requests they may get. And on that basis, I mean, were you a toothpaste squeezer? I mean, did you have any unusual roles with the royal family?
I couldn't say because
I'll take that as a yes.
Yes, he was. Yes.
But on saying that, the thing is, you're right. I mean, in these kind of houses, people can ask you an unusual request, and as long as it's not something too silly, people are normally quite happy to kind of to help out. And I've never had, even though I can never say it, I've never been asked to do anything that I would consider unusual. I've never been given what I'd call a weird request.
I think.
You're not going to give us any names, but can you just give us an example of something where you may have raised an eyebrow?
Well, I think one thing that happened that I thought was amazing was I was invited to in Scotland, Balmoral Castle every year. They have what's called the Gillies Ball, which is where the royal family have all the kind of state staff and workers, and everybody gets together for a traditional ball that started with Queen Victoria. And what did amaze me, I mean, and it's not, it was quite extraordinary, because I thought as being a butler, again, I was imagining there's a certain way to behave and things you don't do. And I remember going along to this ball and getting the opportunity to dance with the Queen. And I remember thinking, butlers don't normally dance with the employers or the members of the family. And it was extraordinary. I suddenly ended up having to dance with the Queen and several other members of the family. The thing is, the Queen's a wonderful dancer. And she's also an expert dancer, especially when it comes to Scottish dancing. So you have to make sure your dance lessons are all up to date. I luckily went off and had some dance lessons before, when I realised that there was a possibility I might be invited, and I'm really glad I did, because apparently she watches your steps, so she knows that you're all doing the dancing correctly.